The decisions we are announcing today are as much about the future of the Sharks Club as they are about its past. It's about getting our house in order. They're about what we believe in as a club, what we want to be as a club, and the standards we expect of everyone in the club. I can assure you that the speculation of recent days has been particularly difficult for everyone involved with the Cronulla Sharks. But it was very important that we took the time to get these decisions right, because the future of the club and the integrity of our club demands it. In my comments now, I will separately deal with the matters relating to ASADA and the players, and the matters relating to the club's management changes and the appointment of Bruno Cullen as our interim Chief Executive Officer. The Board of Cronulla Sharks has announced significant management changes which will see the appointment of a new interim Chief Executive Officer. Bruno has been one of the most successful chief executives in rugby league and has a distinguished career in the banking and finance industry. He has advised us today that he looks forward to joining our football club and is committed to assisting the club going forward, subject to his other business interests. We welcome him to the Sharks at this very important juncture in our club's history. The Sharks Board has gratefully accepted assistance from the NRL through the provision of personnel and funding, and is committed to making the club even stronger in the months ahead. As the club has previously announced, it engaged the former Justice of the Industrial Court and Deputy Chair of the Australian Sports Drugs Agency, Dr Trish Kavanagh, who is with me here this evening, to undertake an investigation and legal review of the club's activities during a period in 2011, which are the subject of the current ASADA investigation. The advice to the board arising from Dr Kavanagh's preliminary inquiries indicated there were management failures within the club's football operations and other issues. With regard to the management failures identified in the review, the board will have advisory firm Grant Thornton conduct a full management review. The board has now further determined that it was in the best interest of the club and our playing group to take the following decisions. Cronulla Sharks head coach, Mr Shane Flanagan, has been stood down pending the outcome of the full management review. The employment of football manager, Mr Darren Mooney, and head sports trainer, Mr Mark Noakes, have been terminated. And the services of Club Dr Dave Givney and Club physiotherapist Conrad Schultz will no longer be required. Can I just say, appropriate psychological counselling and support services will be made available to the affected staff and to operational staff at the club during this difficult period, as we are fully aware of the stress and strain that they've faced in the past week. And can I stress, I know I've said it, but I will stress that the management changes that I've just announced relate to management issues and in no way reflect anti-doping violations. It is with great regret that the board has taken this course of action, but it does so given the serious nature of management failures identified. We make these decisions in the interest of our club going forward and in the interest of the game itself and the welfare of our playing group. We understand that Sharks fans and all rugby league supporters will be shocked by this news, but the board is determined that this was the most responsible and appropriate course of action to be taken at this point in time. The club has notified the NRL of each of these developments, and we are working with the NRL to address our commitment to field a competitive team through the season. The club will have a competitive team on Sunday night and full coaching and medical staff in attendance. Peter Sharp has been appointed acting coach and will be leading the team on Sunday evening. As mentioned previously, we're very pleased that Bruno Cullen is joining us as interim CEO. As almost everyone in the room knows, Bruno has been one of the most successful executives in rugby league. I'd like to make some comments now about ASADA and our players. In the absence of ASADA action against any player, no player will be stood down or otherwise adversely treated by the club. Each player is entitled to an unfettered presumption of innocence. The consequence of any decision by players to provide substantial assistance to ASADA investigation are a matter wholly between the players, their legal representatives and ASADA. The club has made it clear that any player who does cooperate in this manner will receive appropriate financial and other support. The club has ensured that the players who may be subject to an ASADA investigation have independent legal representation, and in consultation with the players, former ASADA head lawyer Richard Redmond was appointed to represent the playing group. The club is also committed to meeting the cost of senior counsel to be available to the players. Separate legal representation has also been provided to club officials. We are also providing counselling services. In respect to re-signing players for 2014, the club has said to players that in each case will be judged on its merits, with such consideration not including a player's dealings with ASADA. The question of the legality or otherwise of substances at the centre of ASADA's investigation is a matter for ASADA. In closing, none of today's decisions have been taken lightly, but the board has no doubt they're in the best interests of the club and our game. And we'll be asking our members to stand strong with us, that we will be the club that you want us to be.